on Twitch.
It really is, just in
general.
general. The more I say, the more likely it is I will be charged. Don't worry, we just started recording, which means that this is only the beginning of the YouTube video. Welcome everybody, my name's Will, Encounter Roleplay, D&D6 Icon, yada 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 yada. Josh.
Wow.
We're here on a long march. We just did the intro.
Oh yeah, we are. Oh shit. Okay, we are here. We are marching. We're marching in place. Moving anything like that would be a terrible idea. It might crash everything. So we all want to stay very still. No one breathe. No one touch anything. And especially no one rely entirely on Gregor to negotiate for the rest of the party, because he was the only one who actually rolled quite well on his last check. So Gregor is conscious at the moment, and Gregor is, not for the first time in his life, has been arrested, sort of. He's not really sure necessarily all the details of him being arrested, but it might have had something to do with the time when he got mauled by a vampire that may have girlfriend. Not really sure if they're going out. Kind of looking forward to all of that coming to light at some point. It's going to be wonderful. But she kind of turned him into a vampire, and in their bloodlust frenzy when they woke up, they straight up butchered a bunch of drow and then forgot all about it. Their friends did not. Coming back through Zamora at the behest of Zune, who is a necromantic lich wannabe wizard who is desperate to defy death itself and gain immortality through lichdom. She has managed to somehow convince the rest of the party that it would be a good idea to go back into Zamora, which is a whole dead kingdom full of dead things and very bad stuff that mostly kills and completely fucks up everyone, and then go and explore the Underdark that sits just below it. This is the previously separated, severed arm, severed limb of the Underdark, which is the Eastern Underdark, and that is sort of cut off from the Western Underdark, where Zune and Kazna are from. So basically, they're going into like a place in the world where everyone died, and it's very sort of shrouded in mystery and fog and mostly death. And then they decided that wasn't good enough. Let's go into the Underdark equivalent of this place and really fucking ruin our lives. Yay! So they kind of consented to drinking some potions and walking into a bog, and started to drown, and were pulled down through the sort of the silt and the mud to a concealed entrance into the Underdark, passed out, and have woken, well, Gregor has awoken to find himself with his friends in a jail cell with iron bars, and he has just been approached by one of their captors, who has asked him if he is a man of violence. Anyone who knows Gregor knows that he is defined by violence and bad language, and deeply closeted. But those are just some of the things that are totally going on in Gregor's life. But he has been confronted. He has been asked what he knows about liches. And being the only person who is conscious for this conversation, he is the only one who is aware of this development. That is my final word. That is law. Just get it. Just deal with it. Individuals. Speaking of individuals who are struggling to deal with it, let's go around and meet some of the cast. So we're going to cut back to Will in a second, because Will is like dying.
I think I'm okay. You know,
yeah? We good? Yeah. Okay. Go while you're good.
All right, before we start, shout out to our sponsors, dndice.co.uk. Use 5% coupon Encounter Roleplay. They're fucking awesome dice. Showed you guys yesterday. I'll show you some more in a little bit here. I'll be rolling with them because Roll20 is not my friend right now. But yes, that's what I have to say. Follow, retweet, all that good shit. Tall Scroll. Or die.
Howdy, I'm Tall Squall. I am playing Gavin Fjordhammer, who is a paladin of St. Cuthbert and a cleric of the Raven Queen, maybe? She might be a little mad at him after he basically stuck her with a stick a couple episodes ago. That was not good. But I did deliver her the Book of Vile Darkness, which is everything that my good buddy Zune wanted and dreamed of, and I took it away from her and gave it to the Queen of Death. Let her go try to get it back from her. Have fun. Woohoo! I'm asleep. I'm the tastiest steak in the room.
Indeed, you are the only healthy individual in the room.
I'm the only healthy living person.
We have
in
two
a room
two
of half undead and vampires. This is going to go swimmingly.
Exactly, and you are like Gavin is a big dude. Gavin is just like prime steak. Like Gavin looks like a hefty bit of roadkill right now. So speaking of killing Gavin, hey Zune, how's it going? How you doing? I don't even associate your real name with you anymore. I just see you as Zune. It's mostly because you look pissed off and pouty, and I associate her as Zune. So Tia, how's it going?
I'm great, Josh. How are you?
I am. So I'll let you guys into a quick little secret. I taunted Tia the second that there was.
Oh, they fucking know because they were on my stream and I was giving them a play-by-play of what a jerk you were being.
I'm never a jerk.
I'm going to find you, Josh.
Okay, that is Tia's lifelong goal, but Zune's lifelong goal is.
Zune Vondry of House Vondry, first of her name, eldest daughter of wizards, escaped to the surface with her sister and is now scouring the entire earth that we're on, not only to lay waste to the Pentacle Five for being more powerful than her because she is petty. She's also looking for the Book of Vile Darkness, which was just in her grasp until a wayward paladin decided that he had to do what was good and right in the world. And now, having nowhere to go, no goal, not even sure of what to do, as punishment, not only for stealing her book, but telling her that she couldn't experiment on undead children, she is determined that to Zymora we go, because it may be the last place that may contain any information on how she can ascend out of her mortal coil and eventually take over the world. You know, every little girl's dream.
Good wholesome stuff.
Yeah.
Mm. So, before we get started, I'm going to do the bit that Will usually does, because otherwise he might actually die. If you guys want to get involved, there's tons of ways you can do that. If you check out below, we've got the donate button, and that means that you can completely screw with these guys. I'll do it anyway. You don't need to, but at the same time, if you want to add your personal vendetta, if you particularly want to see someone suffer, or possibly give them something super badass, then there's loads of ways to get involved. So you can donate to give people nat 20s, wild magic surges, and even we've got a new table this month, and it is glorious. It is a pet table. The pet table is amazing. So far, the pets have given us. Gregor has well, first of all, Kazna has a super terrifying garrote wire that is a sentient magical item. It's a sentient magical weapon, and it has a personality. She's yet to explore that fully, but it's pretty nasty. We were talking about it the other week.
No, it's got a personality disorder. That's
yeah, that's right, entirely. Zune currently has an infestation of six-legged, almost like arachnid, but six-legged insects that have burrowed their way into her undead, rotting legs, and have just formed sort of like a really chill-out symbiotic relationship. And they're also super, super toxic, it would appear. So that's all good. And Gregor has a nipple, a third nipple. It wasn't good enough for you guys. You guys made it a third nipple that could speak.
Ladies.
And also, you donated to give it a tiny malformed arm so it can also, pinch his nipples, stroke his beard, cause trouble. And it, that's what's not to love about that. I mean, come on.
I think Mrs. Violence for that retweet, for the donation. All hail Zune! Appreciate it.
Yes! Love you, girl! Love you! My roommate.
Okay, right. Okay.
The reason why we have men. Let's look at how cute we are. I love you.
I'm going to you.
Not adorable.
We, without further ado, we'll find ourselves... Will, if you start lying, just let me know. But you are currently standing there having a good old chinwag with someone who's just asked you, What do you know about liches?
Liches! Oh, not a lot. Isn't that what Zune wants?
They lean in, all sort of taking it, intrigued by this, and slowly you watch all of their eyes just peel from you to a sleeping corpse. Certainly looks like a corpse. Certainly smells like a corpse. What was once a beautiful dragon is wearing ruined clothing and is rotting face down, and yeah, she's seen better days, and they seem intrigued. They look, Gregor, you with one who would be useful.
Useful? How? What kind of useful?
Someone who knows of lichdom. Someone who has studied it. Someone who would understand what it is to unravel its secrets.
Uh-huh.
Very well. We will come to an agreement, you and us.
What kind of agreement, though?
You will help us reclaim our sister city, and in return, we will overlook your transgressions.
Did you say sister? Find your sister?
Our sister city.
Oh.
One that was slightly more exquisite than this place. A place that was our capital, you might say. If you help us reclaim this from the festering, they all pause and sort of seem to wrinkle their nose, infestation that has found its way into the heart of the city, we will agree to release you.
I don't know. Relieve me? What kind of relief are we talking?
The burden of needing to find someone to feed off of. Down here, it is unlikely that your friend, the interesting one, the one that is both here and not, will discover your affliction so easily. But if you were to lose control, and the guard who is standing guard outside your cell raises up the water skin, which is Kasner's water skin, which you know sloshes with quite a lot of Gavin's blood. Thanks for the donation, buddy.
Tasty steak.
Indeed. Sloshes it round a fine vintage, and we can keep you supplied. See that she doesn't come to this unfortunate discovery.
That is very tempting, actually. How can I help reclaim your city, though? Through violence?
Oh, undoubtedly. But first, you must meet with someone. There is difficulty entering. You will be meeting with... And there's a pause, and they sort of all tense up, and one of them finally sighs. He is simply known as the One-Eyed Man, and he is a personality, much like yourself. An undesirable.
Me, an undesirable? That's just fucking rude, mate.
And true.
Fuck me, sideways. Yeah, I tell you what's undesirable, a third fucking nipple that talks. Not that I have one of those. Chop.
And just make way up. Strokes your beard, vanishes.
Fine,
So-
fine, you got me by the short hairs. I'll do what you want.
Very well. And reaches up, snaps his fingers, and an order seems to be received because suddenly a small portion of your cell wall vanishes entirely. And yeah, so basically just moves into the room really quickly. And Gregor, almost before you can even turn, you see someone walk in and grab what is essentially a pile of rags or towering rags and drags little Scab from the room. As well as another sleeping figure, someone you're quite close to, Kazna, is grabbed by the leg and she wakes up just in time to feel the impact of her basically being pulled by her legs off a solid stone bed onto a solid flagstone floor and be dragged from the room. And the passageway that just materialized out of thin air vanishes entirely to reveal that there is nothing there but unyielding stone.
Oh, that looked painful. I try not to give away too much emotion now.
And given all the cacophony, it stirs two other individuals in the room who wake up. You guys feel pretty crappy. But Gavin, you feel especially crappy. Can you do me a favor? Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, Lord. Okay. That'd be a 10.
A 10? Gavin, you're a little unsteady on your feet at the moment. It's probably because the first thing that happens when you wake up is you sort of realize that you feel like you're suffocating. Your head sort of tilts to the side and you vomit. You vomit not from your gut, you vomit up from your lungs.
Ugh.
It comes out thick and putrid and not terribly tasting. It's got a really, it's almost like a wheaty sort of malty kind of taste. Nothing, it just comes up and splatters on the floor in chunks. It's unpleasant, and you breathe for the first time in you're not sure how long, but it's been a little while. Zune, you wake up and are aware that you are full of stuff that you shouldn't be full of. Your body doesn't really handle this in the same way Gavin's does, albeit that you don't necessarily need to breathe so much, having sort of partially rotting lungs and
Unpleasant.
As you speak, spittle just like flicks out. You can't help it.
Stand. I compose myself as if I were wearing my finest garments, and I look to see who is the appointed leader around me.
You see Gavin, who looks like utter shite, is breathing deeply and raggedly. You notice that...
You lost me. He's breathing. Go on.
Gregor, So things could be worse. You've still got Gregor to keep you company, who is currently standing in a small room that has enough bunks for one additional individual. Notice that Kazna and Scare are both missing. And finally, there is no ornamentation in this room whatsoever. It's probably about 20 foot by 20 foot, not a particularly big room, made of flagstone, cold, damp, definitely underground, has that familiar smell that you would recognize from your childhood. This opening, which is a heavily gateway door, which has spikes sticking out of it, seemingly to stop you from grabbing hold too hard and try to wrench the bars free. And there are 4 individuals standing on the other side. Most of them look simply like mercenaries / guards wearing full garb. They have what look like spears, some of them carry crossbows, but one of them you do recognize, for he is a drow, and he is the one who was talking to you and initially approached you. His name, the only name you knew so far, is the Watcher.
It is in see the amount of go through to keep us contained in here, considering you're the only ones that can lead us here. I say with a half smile out of respect for the effort, but kind of a why in my eyes. What is you've proven yourself to us at this point. Why go on?
This has nothing to do with you.
What?
You misunderstood entirely. These preparations were not placed. We didn't go through this amount of trouble for your sake or benefit. This is how we survive. By leaving no trace. And I'm sure that our city remains hidden.
Much more like the spider than you accredit.
Where exactly is it that you come from?
What's the name of the dark elf city here again? I should know this.
So, I don't. While Laura Lani looks this up, she's got this weird thing going on, and it's only affecting me, and I don't know why. But when she talks quietly, I get this creepy fucking echoing in my headphones. It sounds like a hall that has water dripping in it and voices talking very far away. To the point I'm actually starting to question whether or not this is all going on in my head, and I should start to worry about this shit.
Has Gavin recovered yet?
Gavin, yes. You are going to be shaky, to say the least. This is like, when you basically imagine sort of like pins and needles over your entire body, just feeling physically exhausted while you catch like deep breaths as quickly as you can. But you start to feel strength returning to you. It's just an unpleasant ordeal to go through.
It's likely you've never heard of where we're from, I say, turning an eye on Gavin, seeing that he's alive. Is Einhard in your recollection? I look at Gavin to see if he's actually going to make it.
Am I going to make it?
Roll me a D100, give me high or low.
Also, Wild Magic search for Zune from Urban Lady. Thank you, my friend.
There we go. So I'll have a D100 from Squall and a calling high or low.
Hi.
42.
Oh, we both got really low.
I mean, he might die. Like, he probably will die. But then again, I mean, you're in the Long March, so
yeah, we don't get out that easy.
Exactly. No, you feel like utter crap, but you're okay.
Where are we? Where's Kazna and Scab?
Indeed, that is something I am quite curious to know myself.
They
Not
took
that
him
I-
away.
But they didn't take you. I
No,
thought you and my sister were proverbially joined at the hip as of late.
not so much at the hip. But that's neither here nor there. No, no,
Are
they
you
took him.
Perhaps that you are joined by the heart.
No, not at all, sweetheart. No, not at all. You were in the right area when it came to hips. Now, let's see. They took him away. I don't know why, but not much I could do about it.
Speculate.
As you're speaking, Zune, you become aware of the sound of shifting.
Thank you, Evan Lady.
Strange sound. It's like a grating, sort of crunching, almost like gravel underfoot, and is very faint and seems to be coming from all around, like distortion. It's odd sensation. Gavin, you hear nothing. Gregor, you hear nothing, but you hear things.
Is there a chance that I can identify the sound, having been...
Give me a nature, an arcana.
I'm gonna go with Arcana.
Okay. On a 20, you recognize that whatever it is managing to move through the walls. It is surrounding you, essentially. It is more than one. And you detect that what it is, these are elementals that are currently moving through the corridors, but not through the corridors. They're moving through the walls in the corridors. These are earth elementals, which seem to be providing a little extra security around your prison cell. So, yeah.
How very interesting. You must have talented mages here. I try not to spit out the word mages in contempt.
Sent you a note, Josh. Gavin sort of, Zune might hear him sort of muttering under his breath.
Oh, I pay close attention to everything you do nowadays, Gavin. Hammer.
Such hostility, guys.
What is
God.
this? And then I want to see what I see.
Okay. Oh God, give me 1 second. Can you send me the details on that? And
Sure.
Just posting Irvin's donation to you guys in Zoom here.
Okay.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
It's a good
What
roll.
in the world is this?
Okay. So on a 3 on a D4, Zune gets the aid of a friendly boss monster with one thing she attempts to do to further her goals.
Thank you, Isriva.
Okay.
Also, Isriva gives a pet and a wild magic surge to Zune. Thank you, Isriva.
Wow.
Oh. Okay. Give me that. Give me
Want
that.
the 100 first?
D100.
Yeah. Give me the D100. Let me look this up. I've got the pets table in front of me.
So generous today, guys.
89 for free. Okay, right. Let's have a look.
Something about the number 89.
89.
Indeed. So close. 20 off. So close. So, let me just look that up. That's the wrong table. You know. So, as this happens, you look around. You look around and you find that the corridor around sort of like everything's underground here. It's dark. You see out into the darkness, not particularly well, being a human, but you manage to sort of see almost to the end of the corridor, and you can see that the door has not entirely been closed. On the other side, there is a space that is lit and is big. Like you see, it's almost like you're looking out over. Like it's hard to make out. Give me a perception check just to see if you can quite figure out, because it's hard to explain without giving it all away. So on a 17, 17 is pretty good. You look out, you can tell that whatever you're looking into expands both up and down. You can see it sort of through the crack that is through the doorway. It almost looks like it comes out onto the edge of a precipice.
Okay.
And go ahead. I'm just looking up these pets.
I look over towards. I guess I wouldn't have seen him casting or whatever it was that he was doing. If I'd gotten an inkling that he was attempting to do something, I might have tried to have covered for him, because as much as I detest him at the moment, we're still the only three of us that can work together.
If anything, it probably just sounded like I was praying or something.
Yeah.
Which you do a lot, to be
Yeah.
fair,
This
so.
is true.
And she doesn't fucking hear you no more.
Never mind.
Okay.
Sorry, so many sneaky.
And Fate of Grimjack's £9. Nat 20s for Will, Tia, and Squall. You're back.
Oh,
I got
what? No.
20s? Woohoo!
Ooh,
Nat
wait.
20s.
Hang on, man.
What is that? Oh, right. Oh, none of this happiness. So on the Wild Magic Surge, sorry, I'm still looking that up. So it's 8933.
I already posted it.
Oh, did you?
Yep, it's in the chat there. I'll post my own Wild Magic Surge, so Will doesn't have to go crazy. Thank you for all the donations today, guys. You rock.
Oh, okay. All right. So
That's good, right?
anyone now standing on bare earth nearby has +2 to hit. You're underground. Everyone's standing on bare earth, essentially.
Standing with barefoot or standing?
No, just standing on.
Okay. So we all have +2 to hit each other. Awesome.
Everyone.
Grant,
That's not just you.
Grant Ellis, the bad boy Grant. 3 crit successes to lead DM to counterbalance Greg. Thank you,
Oh,
Grant.
man.
God damn it! Damn it, Grant!
The worst.
Okay. So, you guys,
So there's 4 guards.
There are 4 guards. One of them.
At bars, right? Not door. It's like open bars.
Yeah. The bars are almost like gridded. Floor to ceiling.
Do I see any runes, arcane? Obviously, we still have the colors on us.
Yeah. An investigation.
Damn it. That's right. We still have the damn collars on us.
Urban Lady, Nat 1 for Will, Josh, Nat 20 for Zune.
It's like that. Okay.
Everybody heard that Lichdom is close to Zune, and they want it, baby. You know they want it. We're so close to you.
So, you look around on a 6. You see no runes, but you know obviously there is magic. You know the collars bear magic. You know that there is something moving through the walls. It's something that is sort of no one else seems to be reacting to, but you can hear them, sort of like almost feel them in the ground. As for that last Wild Magic Surge, Zune can also detect elementals within 100 feet.
A kind gesture.
Which is kind of cool. So,
Urban Lady, 3 Nat 1s for Josh. Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Oh, okay. All right. Bring it on.
Ooh.
So, these guys are
Almost feel bad
just
for him.
standing there and they are studying you, Zune. Finally, they reply to your earlier question of have you heard of Ironheart? And they nod together, and the Watcher says, "We are familiar with our lost colony."
Can I recall which was one of the founding cities of the Dark people here?
You can give me a
If
history.
it was the west or the east that came first?
You can give me a history check.
Okay.
On 11, it was the west. Every drow knows it was the west.
Of course, because we're from the
Exactly.
west, and obviously that's what we were taught. So, I believe that you. Never mind.
We have a sister city. We want it back.
Why would I do anything to help you?
Why wouldn't you?
Because you have a sister, and I
So?
presume you will want her back.
Gavin just sort of nods his head. It's like, they've got us soon.
I refuse to do anything until this collar is taken off. You may have me and my sister held hostage, but both of us would rather die than serve the East.
There is only one individual that is capable of removing those collars. And as luck would have it, you are about to go and meet him, for he is the only one stupid enough to attempt the removal.
Bring it XP night, nat 20 for each of the players. Boom.
Yes.
Boom!
Bam.
Good, so, right, nat 20s, what's everyone on?
Check the stream is the easiest way.
There we
Yeah,
go.
they're everywhere.
Oh, damn, holy crap. Okay,
Yeah, we got ding
Right.
ding ding. We got all the way up for Josh.
yeah, I'm off, I'm like off the screen. So, the door suddenly, or the gate suddenly clicks. And Zune, you'll be aware that it is actually being moved by the earth elementals that are around the door, in the door frame itself, lifting the bars out of the ground. But to everyone else, this is just an automatic door, which is pretty cool. And it opens up, and then you see that in places the spikes just slide apart. And within there are tiny, almost sort of like razor-like key sections that lock and intermesh, and they unlink and open. And the corridor is before you, and there's only 4 individuals standing there. They're not particularly heavily armed. However, they do seem to have some leverage over you. And they don't seem particularly afraid, to be completely honest. And the Watcher
Bursts out into a smile and just kind of looks to the left and the right of the door to the Dark Elf. How very dwarven of you.
the Dark Elf looks at you.
Nice compliment, mate.
Oh yeah, compliment. Yeah. That's...
He shrugs and thank you. And then he turns and he begins to walk away.
What? He's
Yeah.
You gotta
complimented?
remember mixed races down here, darling.
Welcome.
Yeah, well, at times you're
Welcome
racist,
to
bitch.
the East.
Welcome to the East, Zune.
Fucking Westies. Brendan Grant, £12, 4 nat ones to Zune. I want Louise to stress as she watches. Oh my god. Oh my
I
god.
fucking hate you, Gret, so much.
Okay,
God
right.
damn it.
You know what, Zune? From now on, for the next few rolls for you, instead of rolling your stat, you can just roll a D2, and
Okay.
if it's a
either
2,
20
it's
or
a
a 1.
crit
It's either
success.
20 or a
No,
1, okay.
it's a crit fail.
It's a crit for sure. Like we
Yeah,
just don't know
you
what-
crit. Like,
You crit.
let me know when you want to do something that's spectacular. So yeah, you guys are sort of now free. The corridor is open to you, and they begin to head down the corridor towards this door. None of them seem to be like all of these guards turn their back to you. None of them are staying with you to check to see if you're following. They just begin to walk down the corridor, completely at home in their own place. It's a little odd, especially to Gregor, who's done some time.
Done my time in the mine for a crime.
Yeah, Gavin's just like,
Was sublime.
they're not worried because there's nowhere to run.
Point at the collar. There's nowhere to go.
But there is a wild magic surge for you, Zune, from Isriva.
Oh, buddy.
Oh my lord.
Something about being in the Underdark just fills me full of fucking magic, I tell you.
Indeed. It's a magical fucking experience. It's fucking magical.
I keep pace kind of beside Gavin, maybe a step back to see if there's anything he wants to say or do. If not, I just stay silent on the seemingly long march down this hallway.
Oh,
We're like an hour in. God damn it, here.
You've taken so long.
yeah. Gavin sort of tries to get some take from Zune whether or not she is full up spellcasting wise, kind of doing a little like, if you need me to make you do sleight of hand, I'll roll a 1 or 2 to see whether or not they see me trying to make some kind of a non-verbal communication of see what Zune's status is magic wise.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll a D2?
Yeah, roll a D2.
Let's see, it's one way or the other. Woohoo! I get away with it.
So, Zune, Gavin seemingly is more observant than you might have realized. As Gavin shoots you what looks suspiciously similar to some of the very subtle and sneaky Drow sign language that you and your sister have employed in the past.
Apparently, we got to be more careful about fucking using that around him.
I know.
I just kind of.
Is that a note there, Zune? Would you like to read it to the entire party?
I just inhale very deeply and exhale very slowly. Perhaps in maybe some of the meditation he's seen me do in some of my spell casting while I'm reading things. Hopefully giving off the effect. Fucking ready to go. Like,
Ready
I
to
will
rumble. Okay.
light up. But, yeah. I'm also so good. I haven't... Oh, no, we had a long rest.
We
Never
had a
mind.
long
I'm
rest.
great.
I mean,
Yeah.
we had covered.
Hit
Nope.
points, spells in like 10 episodes.
So
I'm
long.
so
It's
pumped.
been a long march since we've had been full up.
You,
Did you know that?
I got so excited.
I get so excited. Just, yeah.
I'm going to cast all my spells.
Oh, God, no! Still doing the creepy echo thing. Fuck you. Right. All that ones from now on. So, yeah, you guys get to the, sort of like reach almost the end of the corridor, and the Watcher just opens the door. And on the other side of the door, as Gavin rightly, rather astutely realized, there is only about 5 feet of floor, and then it vanishes. There is a huge cavern on the other side. And you can see that there is smoke rising from the bottom of the cavern, almost like a fishbowl effect. You look and you see there is a small town. It's not a particularly sort of bustling, thriving town, but it is of 100, maybe 200 people moving around, performing various tasks. But it's quiet. Other than the sound of quiet working, dutiful working, it's quite eerie. And you would note that the cavern is much larger than sort of is necessary for such a small settlement. The only thing that offsets that is the fact that hanging from the ceiling is what can only be described as one of the Great Pyramids, but upside down, suspended from the ceiling. That is still, you can actually see people moving around different cut-in layers. Sort of each step up the pyramid has a ledge that seems to run the full circumference, and people seem to be moving around ways, looking down at this small settlement beneath. And you are led out onto this ledge. In every direction, you can see there are small tunnels that lead off in various different places. But other than that, it is relatively quiet. And Zune, it is certainly smaller than most of the sort of great cities of the Underdark you are familiar with.
take a look around. Look to our leading party, look to
Not
Gavin.
that bad, eh?
Rather dwarven, she says, a little bit less enthusiastic this
Yeah,
time.
I like that about it.
The Watcher nods, and it is humble and modest, but it serves our purposes for the moment.
Cool.
What do you want of us? We came here looking for things all our own, but you have an agenda of your own.
Our agendas are not entirely different. You seek a great power, so do we. But
You know nothing of what I seek.
we know everything you have said since you entered Zamora. And you speak often and seem to think rather little. You are very open with your ambition.
Got him.
I kind of slowly turn my head down toward the dwarf and look back. Go on.
First, we would see to it that you are not accidentally and violently disposed of by, he gestures to your neck, these contraptions.
These are quite brilliantly made, even through teleportation or misty step or other arcana. This seems to follow me. Must be a great magical piece. And you say you have found one who can undo it.
We have found one unhinged enough to try. And he raises his hand and points one slender finger towards one of the only buildings that doesn't sit within the nestle, the bosom of the rest of the town. It is connected by no road, no footpath. It doesn't look like it's visited very often, but there is plenty of smoke and there is light coming from the windows. It is not a particularly large dwelling, but it is odd. Just by looking at it, Zune, I mean, it looks pretty terrible. Gavin would be able to see that this is someone has gone through some serious renovations and used pretty much whatever they can find. Gregor, you would see that whoever this person is, they're no craftsmen, and they certainly have just, it's flotsam and jetsam has been used to sort of hammered in place. You can even make out that there is some what could pass for dwarven architecture, but is slightly is an offness to it. And he points and says, "He is waiting for you. If you return, we will speak more."
Let's not leave the man waiting then.
Agreed. Quicker we can get these off, the quicker we can take care of business for our new friends here and be on our way.
I'm so glad you volunteered to have the cholera first, Gavin.
Of course
And
I
I
do.
walk forward.
Yeah, of course I do. And he walks past her and goes, "Because I have faith." Just to rub it in.
Got him.
Oh, I hate you so much. She says nothing because obviously he gets the last word in, but her stomps are a little bit more angry. And she's like, everybody's getting the last word on me today.
Good old roasting.
Indeed.
Dare you
And,
walk past?
It is surprisingly down here. The air is a little bit. It's almost as if you're in a giant sort of throat. All the air just tastes like it's been breathed in too many times and breathed out too many times.
Are we inside a giant throat?
No, it is.
Okay.
I mean, you would be able to feel stone beneath your feet.
Does Zune slosh as she walks because her lungs are still full of sludge?
No, Zune has just been dribbling ever so slightly while she's been talking, just tiny flecks.
I actually thought about stabbing my lung to like let it out.
Dude,
like
I totally was
pustule.
like thinking you should do that. That would just be awesome.
Just,
You
Right?
just like
stand up and just be
instead of
like,
coughing, that you stab your own lung.
But the thing is, I'm undead from the waist down, not the waist up, so it would probably hurt quite.
Put yourself on tap.
yeah.
So, can I add then at the very end as Gavin walks by, you've got a little. So.
Got
From
him!
forth the kennel of thy womb hath crept a hellhound that doth seek to hunt us all to death. I think at this point I pretty much have to, just for intimidation factor for the people around me. I don't know anatomy that well. Could I make a medicine check?
I feel like I have to stab and puncture my own lung, but I don't know anatomy that well. This is going to go so well.
I'm not a rocket scientist.
Well,
but
because you
what
get to
happens?
do you get to roll the D2s to find
Yeah,
out
I'm
how it all
doing it.
goes.
We're gonna find out. So
Roll me a D2.
1d2.
Laurelania.
Does Gavin have a dagger on him by chance? Because I will take his fucking dagger and stab myself with it. Right,
I do. I have a very long stiletto on me.
Ah, perfect.
Well, since he's walking in front of me, I'll reach out. So, like, as he's walking, the motion pulls it out of the sheath,
Mhm.
flip it around, and like stab myself right there, and hopefully angle it since I got a crit 20. My pus, so it sprays on the back of his leg, kind of like when you're riding a bike, in the puddles,
That's
and
like
it
the
like
worst.
sprays all over the fucking back of you. So just kind of,
Zune, you immediately have two crossbows leveled like square at the center of your chest. Really calmly, just the two guys. They didn't seem to be walking with you, but they have moved over to you, seeing that you've drawn this dagger. Both of them look you up and down, and they look to each other, and there is definitely an unease in both of their eyes as they slowly lower the crossbows. And one looks at the other, and they both nod, seeming in agreement, and begin to walk back to rejoin the Watcher, who is watching.
I sheathe the dirty, disgusting, bile-covered dagger back.
Oh, you don't even clean it, you bitch!
No.
Oh. Right in the sheet.
Right in
the sheet.
motherfucker.
Oh, that's dirty.
Well,
right
I
in that
assume
sheet.
now I've got pussy water on the back of my leg.
Thank you,
Gavin just turns back.
There you go.
I'm probably not expecting it to come where it comes from, but I
Giggity.
assume I see it now, her leaking on my leg.
Gavin, you got...
And,
I
and
walked
here I
pa-
thought we had you potty trained.
I walked
Oh,
past him. Gavin, you got something there, mate.
Thank you, Grega. Yes.
That might be the final word.
Yeah.
You guys have stooped to a new low.
Yeah, this is be the adults. Thank you, Mr. Fjordhan.
Always at your service.
Is it not Milady? I stand at the entrance, side by side with Gavin, and side by side with our, I guess, hip to head? I don't know.
Hip to head.
Head to
Hip to
hip.
head.
To head
sure.
with
Hip to third nipple.
Hip to the hop.
So you are standing there before the door.
Hip to nip, if you will.
Hip to nip.
to
indeed.
dip. There we go.
Done.
Indeed. So as the party, I want to see the silhouette of that. Like I really, really want to see the silhouette of that. The the party stands there before a door that has been repaired. This door has been repaired. So this door looks like a tavern door where, like, you know, when adventuring parties meet. I don't know about you, but all my adventurers seem to break on burned down taverns. But the door always seems to bite the dust. This door has been recycled from a tavern, rescued from a tavern. It's been taken to pieces 1,000,001 times. And that really sort of spreads out and shows for the rest of the building, which almost sort of has like places where it looks like it's got riveted bits of metal holding entire like structure of brick together in places. It's a mess. And there was a small scrapyard which passes for their garden space. And as you stand there, who knocks? Who is the one who knocks? Gavin, buddy.
Gavin will knock.
He's got that thunderous, meaty hand.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Your first knock, you go straight through the wood. Your hand is now sort of... Basically, you've just punched straight through the door, and as you pull your hand out, there is a face looking at you, peering at you, single eye, just...
Greetings. Gavin Fjordhammer, we hear you can help us with these.
You are early. I was not expecting you for some time.
A wizard is never late or early. They arrive exactly when they need to.
Precisely.
Then leave and come back when you are wanted. The others can come in.
And he opens the door, and a plume of smoke, very pale white smoke, comes out, sort of seeping out, and sort of engulfs all of you. It has a very sharp taste, leaves your mouth quite dry. It is a little unpleasant, and it kind of obscures the inside. But standing before you is a figure who is of average height, seemingly human. He wears a head wrapping that goes round almost kind of like a turban, but is covering one eye, almost like an eye patch that just goes down. He is old and decrepit looking, this man. He has a toothy smile, toothy maybe being slightly generous, as he quite clearly, this guy doesn't floss so much, and he's wearing torn and ragged robes, but he clinks as he moves, and floating just above his palm in one hand is a white sphere that almost looks it almost looks like a bath bomb. That's the best way, like a white spherical bath bomb, kind of powdery, and it just floats there just above his hand, and he gestures you with gnarled fingers to enter.
You are not who I was expecting.
He looks at Gavin.
I'm surprised you have more visitors than just us, but we certainly could use your help.
None of you are quite as you were foretold, but this is workable.
I
You
pray
may
that you were
enter.
not speaking of prophecy.
Prophecy. That is one way of looking at it. Inevitability. Please, come in.
And he scuttles into sort of a cloud of smoke that plumes around him and creates unnatural shapes. And it exposes what appears to be sort of an alchemist's workshop. It's the most untidy alchemist workshop you can imagine. There is a huge circular table in the center that is built around what appears to be a central wooden column that holds the roof up in places. And there are just bottles, there are alchemy kits just scattered all over, huge stations that are brewing stations, and everywhere there are ingredients. The whole place has that rotten smell, but that natural decaying kind of smell of decomposition and putrefaction. And he vanishes, scuttles around, sort of like knocking into glass, leaving you free to explore.
So what do we call you, mate?
I am the one-eyed man. That is what I am known as by my kin.
Does that name strike any memory at all?
And your maiden name?
History? Does his headdress reveal anything about where he's from, maybe?
You can give me a history check. as
Yeah.
Nat 20. Whoever he is, he doesn't come from down here, most certainly. He has a very pale complexion. He's clearly been down here for some time. He's human, which is also something that he looks very old. Like, he must be like pushing like 80, 90, something like that, because I mean, he looks like he has been left out in the sun for a very, very long time. And there is where is it? Yeah, you would know that this sort of garb is generally probably comes from somewhere quite hot. All of his clothing is sort of dusty and looks like it was a kind of sandy kind of color. But so far as placing him, he doesn't dress like any culture you're familiar with. He's very stand-outish. But the name seems to simply be a fitting nickname. He's not someone you've heard of.
I'm getting less hopeful by the second.
If you could help us, we would certainly appreciate it. These collars are, as you can imagine, not something one would want to keep for very long. And
he pulls open a drawer and lifts out a collar. It is splattered with blood. Oh, I'm aware.
so
I look to Gavin like he should keep talking because he's the nice guy.
So, shall we have at it?
Yeah, let's have a quickie.
Well, I thought we were going to have to ease you in, but if you're okay with beginning tests immediately, well, this one went a little poorly, as you can see, but I've figured out what it does at the very least. Rather spectacular. But,
Most impressive. Do you have notes on your work thus far?
I do indeed.
Might I see them?
Well, of course.
Oh, delightful.
You are a scholar, or a learned individual, someone who studies magic and other
I don't
creations.
just study magic, I'm a wizard. I am Zune Vondry of House Vondry, first daughter of her name, she says, thinking of her sister.
And I'm
no, she's
Gregor
finally
Tuscanu.
Gregor Tuscan.
Ooh.
That's right. We've heard of you. Your reputation in the war. Some of our older individuals have great respect for someone who can show such ruthlessness at bringing people to march in one steady line, all working in unison. It's quite remarkable.
I one very long arch.
Indeed.
Twice?
2 and 1.
Baby.
I passed on doing mine.
2 and 1, baby.
You are all here now, so it must be time. Gavin. Yes, Gavin. Would you like to, and he just sweeps a load of bottles from to one side, leaving a large space, and then he sort of seems to size Gavin up and sweeps them some more, sort of trying to accommodate room on his workbench. He straight up smashes a couple of things as he sort of sweeps it out of the way, and picks up what appears to be almost like a chef's apron that is stained with blood and various other spillages, and ties it on. It is filthy, and ties it up and let us begin.
Yeah, Gavin just, I have all trust in you. But he takes out his warhammer and just sort of holds it. Not like he's going to attack him, just holds it, sort of like starts white knuckling it. And you just sort of see his jaw clench and just like, okay, and his eyes just go, get almost starting to get bloodshot as he's just really like,
I take a moment and I kind of gently place my hand on Gavin's beefy shoulder. Should this not go well, is there anything you would like me to do? Any last rites? I owe you that much at least. And she kind of releases her hand as like the only physical contact she's made in a long time.
Actually, because I know you still have one from like episode 1. And I said, you've seen the rites. Use the feather.
Oh, I don't know what you guys are talking about, but... Whew.
The rites of the Raven Queen.
The Raven Queen.
Oh, the Raven Queen, is that right?
Whites of the Raven Queen.
I lean in just as after I nod, and I kind of just so audibly whisper, I'll perform the rites, but your body is mine.
Oh.
Zune, you have the smell of bad breath right by your side of your face as he has lent in this strange man and says, if he dies on my table, he is mine.
Well, I'm out of this contest. You guys can fight between them.
Gavin's just like, great.
So, chat, I believe I've been given several nat 1s and several nat 20s, and now one of my characters is going to have to perform a rather delicate procedure to try and remove this collar.
Oh, it's the 1d2s.
Let's have a 1d2.
50-50 across the... It's 50-50 day on Encounter Roleplay.
Indeed.
Okay, everybody. Oh! Gavin's dead. Reroll. New character. Let's go.
He reaches over and sort of like he pulls out several tools.
I'm gonna lawyer for Gavin, believe it or not. I did ask to see notes, and I was going to assist if he was going to let me.
Okay. He nods and he gestures over to he gestures over to a table where there are thousands of notes, but some of it you would recognize is written in a language that you recognize, which is Dark Elven. A lot of it is written in something that you don't necessarily recognize. You can give me an intelligence check to see if you can figure out what it is.
Are we still on D2s?
We are indeed still on D2s, Laurelania.
Okay, chat. Give me your energy.
Fitty.
5.
Ooh,
so we'll get to that in just a second as he unravels a set of tools from a long leather pouch, and he begins taking out tools almost like he's like a thief that's got to crack a particularly difficult lock. But none of these tools resemble lockpicks. They resemble strange things that don't seem to have any real focus. Some of them look like pads to sort of mop one's brow with. Others are just look like bone saws, and a couple of them just look like a variety of different length wooden sticks with colors sort of painted on them quite badly. And he gets up and sort of begins to sort of touch them, prodding at the edge of the collar, and then pauses. And after a few moments, as sort of Zune is having a look through, he just jumps up onto the table and straddles Gavin's chest, grabbing like a handful of tools, and he begins to sort of like, Gavin, you're just aware of like little clicks that seem to be coming, and every now and again there will be an intense sensation of warmth just on your jaw, or coldness, or that electric sort of sense that all your hair stands on end. And he's sort of muttering to himself and saying things in something that is probably inane gibberish, doesn't seem to make any sense to anyone. And finally, he just, oh, that's new.
Go on.
This one is different. I was expecting them all to be the same. See, this one is does something slightly different, and I wasn't entirely prepared for that before I activated this. So, who's next? He says, and just climbs off Gavin. Gavin,
Is the collar off?
It is still attached to your neck, and you can feel what is almost like a slow circling of energy that is beginning to sort of move gently around your neck.
But who's next? Do you mean that you have failed with Gavin?
Defined failed. I mean, I can now remove it.
Is his head going to be removed? Will he die?
Are you familiar? You're a wizard. You're a practitioner of magic. You're familiar with spells, I presume.
Indeed.
Are you familiar with one particular spell, a powerful spell, a protective spell, known simply as the Wall of Force?
Quite.
These collars project a wall of force.
Oh.
On the inside of the donut.
Quite right.
Oh.
Can I roll a 1d2 for some divine inspiration? Or can I reuse a nat 20 for some? Because is this it? This could be it.
Do you have any nat ones? Let me just check.
I've got 2 and 2.
Okay, roll me a d2.
Let's see.
If you double nat 1, things could go really, really, really bad.
Is it possible that would I be able to calculate the point of explosion and perhaps cast Misty Step on him as to time it just so right so it explodes as he mists?
Science.
I mean, as you try and contemplate that, Gavin, you feel a slight shift. And he looks at you, looks at the collar, and everyone will see one symbol that repeats over and over again across the collar that runs all the way around. It is a glyph. It is not language per se. It is almost like a pictogram, and it is unrecognizable. It's not something that you've noticed on the collar before, and it glows a deep, swirling orange that pulses several times. And he walks over and says, remember, he is mine. And he grabs what is essentially forceps and reaches to your collar and twists. And just as he twists, Gavin, the collar pops open and then is suddenly violently pushed open as you're going to take a little bit of bludgeoning damage here directly to your throat. I'm going to ask you one. I need a con. I'm going to make it either a strength or a con save.
Ooh, I'll do strength.
I feel like you could. I feel like you could potentially do strength. Yeah, let's go.
14.
On a 14. Okay, on a 14, you are not going to instantly die from the fact that your windpipe is nearly concaved by the impact of this. But you are knocked completely unconscious as a huge force jams you straight in the sort of the base of your neck, essentially, and you have a vicious bloody cut that runs around your entire throat. And basically, Gavin, you need some medical assistance pretty fucking sharpish.
Holy shit, Doc, can you patch him up?
He looks at Gregor and he's just like, I mean, I can stitch his throat back together, probably, possibly.
That might be a good idea, you know. Because it's not stitched up at the moment, and all. He's bleeding kinda everywhere.
He looks around and I suppose I could see what I can do for him, but are you sure that, I mean, is he worth? Are you... We desperately want to save this one.
Rather him than Zune.
Very well. On a nat 20, he walks over and very bluntly, you see him just draw what is essentially a scalpel and he cuts straight down into Gavin's throat and plucks what is a funnel that he has straight up been mixing like alchemical chemistry and stuff in, and he gets the funnel and pushes it down. The spike of this funnel jabs it down into Gavin's throat, and Gavin, not that you're aware of this, you have just had a trachea. I can't say it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to avoid saying it.
Tracheotomy?
Yeah,
that's it.
You had jabbed into your throat, and your body stops shutting down.
What the fuck can I say? Because I've never seen this performed before. I'm like, I see this guy fucking tear open Gavin's throat.
So I literally, my throat's slit. I've got a straw or a reed or a pipe in my throat.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Have
not
I seen
science.
this before? This is more of a
points, but
live
stable. I guess 0
thing.
and stable. Is that where I am?
Gavin, you regain consciousness. You basically drift for a second through blackness, just sheer blackness, as your oxygen just is suddenly cut off from your brain. And
It goes for the Doctor Who intro scene.
yes. And Gavin sort of comes spluttering back. You guys will be able to see that basically Gavin's throat has been caved in ever so slightly by this.
Just ever so slightly.
There is blood in a ring that is round his neck.
You're like, this guy inserts a knife into his throat, places a funnel there, and then you're like, it looks like his neck's been hurt ever so slightly.
Yeah. Oh, that's beside the fact that he has a funnel sort of sticking out of his throat.
Gregor's like, what the
Gavin's
fuck,
still
man?
alive?
Gavin is breathing frantically, for not the first time.
That was fucking brutal.
If it knocked me out, I can't die when I'm unconscious.
That's right.
I can't die. I can't die when I'm asleep.
It's when you're asleep, right? Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Back from last season.
That's so
Boom.
true. I forgot about that wild magic surge. Oh boy.
What? Oh shit.
Hence you haven't experienced brain death and are now conscious as you're. Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, that was fucking brutal, mate. Can you show me how to do that to someone? Fuck.
He turns towards you with a scalpel and walks towards you, just absolutely, just tilt your head back ever so slightly.
As he's doing that, can I attempt to steal some of his notes? How many guards are watching me?
There are no guards in here.
Can I
You
steal
guys-
some of his notes while he newts his newts?
Newt, steal some of his
Not
many
my
newts.
notes, no.
Can I please steal some of his notes while he walks up to him with a scalpel and Gavin is literally unconscious and I don't have to listen to his do-goody fucking voice saying, "Don't do that, Zoom"?
Newt.
Newt, newt.
Yes, you can. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll disarm this guy if we need to.
Real quick, Will, how many nat 20s does Tia have left?
0, just 4 nat ones.
Oh, really? So
Break
you
Tia.
reach out to sort of pick up these notes, and as you do, you sort of try to cover yourself, so you're basically leaning on the workbench, really nonchalantly. Reach sort of.
I think I'm
under
so
your
clever.
arm, under your arm, and and you grab hold of the edge of the notes, and as you pull it, it comes through. You look at the edge of the notes. There is orange, like the rune that you saw glowing around Gavin's neck. You sort of have a moment where if you had a heart, it might stop. It is gaining across the page rapidly. There appears to be some kind of spell over these notes that destroy them when touched. And then you become aware that it's more than just that. It's affecting you. And you start to feel pain in your left shoulder.
Oh no.
And you turn. You have pulled a particular page over a particular stack of notes and knocked over a candle. And you have just set fire to his notes and your cloak and the page you are currently holding. And of course, the small inferno to break out on his workbench, which is now sputtering pink and purple flame as whatever. He doesn't clean his workstation. So you have added a whole load of chemical combustions into that is not good. Yeah.
Shit.
He's not actually noticed. He's still holding a scalpel.
Well, then I'm going to try to.
So,
unfortunately,
Zune reaches that, starts trying to pat it out, and as she just like slams her hands down on sort of the her clumsy, not really her hands down, embers and sparks just go in every direction, and a small cacophony of explosions go off, gathering sort of the interest of everyone in the room and drawing their attention straight towards Zune, who is now almost cartoonishly soot black face, hair that is only just recovering from being entirely burnt away, now sort of singed again in places, robes almost burnt away. You're going to take some damage soon, as you have set yourself on fire. This is going well. You take 9 fire damage as you set fire to your own robes and are now standing there in essentially your skivvies with burnt remains of a very tattered robe, and have completely destroyed his notes. You've also caused several explosions and one flask to suddenly begin bubbling over and frothing. And you notice as it froths over, it solidifies and seems to make the workbench groan and creak as if sort of this foam is crushing everything around it. It's quite a spectacle. He looks at you. Why?
Why don't you clean this?
Didn't he say... Wait, our character, didn't he say you could look at the notes anyway?
Yeah, I was going to steal them.
You fucking idiot.
Well, you can't steal them now. You've destroyed them.
Oh, I don't say that out loud. I was attempting to look at them, but however, his workbench was so in disarray that this happened. It's not my fault.
So you are unable to practice caution. Probably.
You're unable to practice cleanliness.
And you were just
you realize you
were lying.
Yeah.
I bet that deception went really well for you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah. He says cleanliness. You have bugs scuttling out of your legs.
Better scuttling out than in.
He literally wink nudges Gavin, just like
That's a quote.
She knows. So, as you've just destroyed half my workbench, you're next on the table.
I attempt to show no fear, and I wipe it off like it's a proper doctor's table.
It comes away like dust, smoke, soot. Strange.
The table comes away.
The table just, you wipe it away, it's all grime. There's no table.
Yeah.
It's just grime that has formed a table. You destroy it. Yeah, it's untidy, unclean. It's not sanitary.
I look to Gregor.
Sup, sweet cheeks?
If I die, dwarf,
Yep.
melt my bones with your lava. Eat me if you must.
Fingers crossed, eh?
I lie down and stare at the ceiling.
Is Gavin awake, or is he? Is he conscious?
You are sort of. You've just experienced brain death for a split second, so not the most conscious you've ever been.
I look at Zune and it was like, have faith, and I cast Beacon of Hope, which gives advantage on death saving throws, just in case, and maximum healing on any healing that happens.
Okay.
Do I feel the Raven Queen's presence within me?
Give me a religion check. On a 23, you feel something wash over you. It's not familiar. mostly because, I mean, Gavin hasn't really been particularly enamored to you, so he hasn't actually spent a lot of time helping you out. For example, that curse that you're still under.
Well, he removed that, I
No,
thought.
I finally removed it.
Yeah,
oh no, you did finally remove that. Yes, but like stuff
But
like
that'd
that.
be a St. Cuthbert
stuff
thing.
like that took a while.
That was
Um,
paladin side,
That
not
whole shit.
not cleric side.
As I am
Whatever,
kind of
however you want
laying
to play with
on this doctor's table, and I see this kind of, I look to the right from the table, and I see the, I guess, eye-level dwarf who knows my sister, and I ask him for the last rites. I kind of look up and look over to Gavin, and reach into my pocket, and I pull out the raven's feather, and I hand it to him, just in case.
Of course.
The man looks at it and says, "Are you taking notes?" He offers you an ink.
If you attempt to animate my body, there will be consequences.
I mean, you'll be dead, so there's not a lot you could really do about it.
Make a good point there, but don't worry, she does all this stuff before she does anything she's scared about.
I know she talks and talks and talks to draw away from the fact that, well, I don't know if she can defecate.
Don't worry,
in that kind of state,
it's in the family little project.
Can I send one of my bees to sting his nipple?
Whose nipple?
Whose nipple do you think?
I've got
Which
there are a lot of nipples in the room right now.
A lot of nipples in the room.
Roll a D10. Okay.
If not, then I will lay there and take my.
Give me give me a perception check, my dear friend Gregor. And I believe Gregor is rolling with some pretty sexy dice today. Oh yeah.
Gregor's rolling with some D&D. I wish I could get him out right now, but hey. But D&Dice.co.uk, our sponsors. Nailed it. Perception. Come on, perception. You know you wanna.
Pray for Zune. Pray for Zune, chat.
Nailed it.
9. Yeah. So Gregor, suddenly you feel something. It is irritation as your nipple.
That was my next question. Is it unpleasant to be stung in that nipple, or is it a pleasant feeling?
You hear just oh god,
Get fucked.
and sort of like you look down and there is something scuttling underneath your armor that comes out one of the sides, out one of the sleeves, and
better scuttling out then.
Oh, it's got to be like the new motto for the team.
Yeah.
The new you feel your sudden constriction on your chest as your nipple begins to swell dramatically, and you just hear, "Oh, it's pressing against my face." And basically, its face is just pressed into the inside of your armor, and it sort of like flails its hand around.
Oh, that's swelling nicely. Oh, that's it's nice and raw.
And we're gonna roll. How many do I have left? Let's see. I have 3 left of each. So 1d2. Zune. This guy, you're starting to wonder if things are. If this guy knows anything. He doesn't have his notes though, so he gets up and he's just sort of like looking at you and just like tinkering around and. Right, okay, so that didn't work last time. Let's try this. And there's a click, and he... Oh! How did you come to lose your lower half?
I don't recall.
Well, I doubt you'll remember how you lose this part of you either. And he sort of backs up slightly.
The Vondry name will live on.
Oh, yes, I know. They have your sister.
I look at Zune and go, even though it's runes, it's a spell cast. The spell is casting. Can you not just spell it? Can you not counter it?
I immediately go into casting.
Okay. What level are you casting at?
We're gonna go with a big bad level 6.
Oh, go
Didn't-
for a big bad level
I
6.
feel like we tried this once.
Wall of four. Oh, it's 6 to 6, right? A counter on a 6 is a.
Mm.
It's
That's
bam.
the only level 6 spell I have. So
There is a sudden click, and Zoom, you feel relief as the pressure around your neck, and you are going to have sort of like sores and cuts where it's been sat there for quite some time, but it eases, and you feel cold air move across your skin for the first time in quite some time as it appears your collar has just unsnapped.
and yet I'm the one who talks about. Take the collar and I throw it down to the ground and I step on it dramatically as Zune is free of her shackles.
He looks at you confused and odd. That wasn't supposed to happen. I did exactly the same thing that I did to his. That should have
Perhaps you
killed
might
you.
allow me to assist you in the next removal of the collar.
Yeah, give me a hand. Let's have this freewheeler scenario, shall we? I jump onto the table.
Gregor,
Don't talk, Asna.
he climbs up and straddles your chest, as is the custom.
I won't mind the nipple, it's a bit swollen at the moment, the third one.
He looks. He just straight up gets all up in your face, like really close to your
Why
face.
did you just motorboat the camera?
Well, yeah, he gets all up in there. Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
And he takes his scalpel, and quick as a flash, before you can even react, he stabs you in the chest. You feel an extreme amount of pain as pus begins to leak sort of down onto your neck, and you just hear, "Oh my god, he's wounded me!" And
Is he killing the nipple?
No, nipple, no!
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 looks down and he just said, "There's a lot of pus in there."
That was my fucking nipple, mate!
Did he just kill Nipply?
Did you just fucking kill my nipple?
Dude, he got your bee slime out of it, man.
That shit was fucking sentient, he had a life.
Yeah.
He was 2
Did
weeks
suck
off
the- did he suck
retirement.
the venom out?
He had a wife and kids.
Well, if he's, then I'm sure he has a wife and kid. Oh, of course, because you have
Yeah,
extra nipples.
A wife and kid, and I point to my first and second nipple.
Just,
Oh my curiosity, you were so fucked sometimes.
there is
Will,
there's-
not even fucking Gregor, just a Will. What the fuck?
you see a tiny little hand come up, like clutching at the edge of your armor,
Are
and
we
then
about to have a nipple death scene? I'm just checking, making sure I'm
Just checking in.
the most epic.
Just stick to the script. Stick to the script.
you see the hand just.
Nipple! No! I'll never forget you, nipple.
Oh, this is so sad.
Oh, we didn't know each other very long, but the time we did spend together.
Gregor, I have something to ask you.
Anything.
Promise me, whatever it takes, you will never pierce my family. Promise me.
I promise you ain't that nipple. I promise you. I'll never pierce neither of them. I'll look after him. I'll keep him real safe. I'll even lube him up occasionally. You know, Vaseline and all. Keep him nice and nippy.
You are a good growth.
Well, the best nipple I ever had. First time See a single tear shred from Gregor Tuscanoob's eye. He's a good man. Damn good man. We've lost a brother today. We'll not lose another. We'll not lose another. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Take this thing off me, Doc. I need to perform a burial.
There, he looks down and with the quickest of slices, he cuts off your nipple.
Oh.
Wait, did you mean the collar or the...
Well, that'll do for now. I take the droopy protrusion. And,
It's flaccid.
yeah, thank you. Hold it in my hand. There is only one way to say goodbye to a nipple. Only one way that he can truly rejoin his family. I think we all know what needs to happen now. And
Please don't eat it.
I eat the
swear to
nipple.
fucking God, I'll never talk to you again.
you're going back to your ancestors, to Sovngarde. Oh.
Did you actually eat it?
Yeah,
I'm so done with this campaign.
you're back with your forefathers.
The
And I could have revivified it, but revivified a nipple. But he's
What
he's
the fuck? I
The-
just
the one
fucking killed my third nipple. I just fucking ate him. This is fucking.
the one-eyed man hands you a test tube. Chaser?
Ah, that's depraved even by Zune standards.
Oh. Fuck.
Gavin takes the test tube and pours it on the floor for the fallen.
Nipple genocide. Well, when I take a shit next time, I guess I'll see you again, my friend.
Yeah.
Mr. Lava Guts, probably not.
You've cremated your severed nipple.
I basically shit ashes, so we can.
Can I
spread
start
them.
chanting through the Raven Queen's rites?
Yes, you can. As people, as sort of Zune stands at one side, Gregor stands solemnly at the other side, and she doesn't do a bad job either. She has been paid for it. Today we have learned that two of you are actually paying attention to each other, and it's odd. But yeah, Gavin, you witness her in a mocking tone, very, very convincingly, with that sarcastic flair. She gets the almost everything about it right. She doesn't have all the materials necessarily needed.
It's not for the materials or for the passage, though, and he fucking knows it.
Yeah. And as that happens, suddenly there's sort of like the moment there's a splashed drink on the floor, which is sizzling ever so slightly, but that's not important.
We don't tell Casner about this.
For the fallen, and suddenly Gregor's collar just slips from his neck and clanks down onto the floor, and behind you, standing on the workbench, is the one-eyed man, just sort of, left, not lefty loosey.
Righty
Right.
tighty.
From which wizard school did you graduate from?
Wizard? I'm not a wizard, I'm an alchemist. Or is it an anarchist? Or an arsonist? One of them.
Alchemy.
Hmm.
You're not even a yeah. I just let you.
It's a part
Gavin
of
just
me.
sort of pats Zune on the shoulder.
Yeah, the whole reality of what
Yeah.
I thought I was letting an educated doctor fucking work on shit.
Never asked for his credentials.
Just a fucking potion boy tried to take this shit off. You're not a. I feel the.
Call us off, Zune. Call us off.
Mm.
I feel whole
Indeed.
again, if I'm honest.
Do you want to keep them? They make fantastic plates. Unbreakable, you see?
Actually, I quite might like to. Mr. Fjordhammer, if you wouldn't mind tossing it into your sack.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, shove that big hard
Wow.
unbreakable plate into your sack, Gavin. I know what you're talking about. Dildos.
Everything be so dwarven.
And
Right.
Gavin does. Actually, Gavin collects all three and puts them in his bag of holding.
You know, in a way, I feel like I've freed, emancipated my nipple.
It's you can have all three of these. They're basically a collar when they're big enough to go around your neck, but when closed, they create an impenetrable force field, which soon you would know there's only one way to get around it, which is the disintegration spell. They would make mighty fine shields, I will tell you now. So, pretty nifty things. Indeed,
Oh,
but
yeah.
they're more like a buckler because they're only the circumference of your neck, so nothing.
Gavin's neck.
Yeah. Gavin's one is sizable enough to be used as like a proper buckler.
Is it better than a regular shield? Because I think I'm just wearing a normal shield.
It would be if you were to take Gavin's one, you'd have a +1 shield with one added bonus. It gives you the chance that if you are targeted by a spell that allows you to make a dex save, if you pass, you avoid all damage. And if you fail, you take half damage. Unless it's the disintegration spell, you can put it between you and it.
That is pretty neat. That would make my AC
It
25.
is.
That's nifty.
Now that
Gavin
we've
currently
gone
only has
through...
one arm, so he's gonna
They might need that for a
pass
while.
until he gets an arm back.
Yeah.
I need that one. Well, you know, I feel free, whole again. A little bit, just not mention the Revivify thing. In fact, maybe we don't mention any of this to Kazna when we see her again. Just, you know, someone came over me there. But
Do you
let's,
want her collar?
her collar?
Have you already removed
Yes.
her collar?
Yes, they were brought to me, her and the small one.
Whoa, that bloody collar. You better fucking tell me that was not Kazna, or that was not the little fucking kid, Scab, whose name I just remembered.
The little one was the one with blood.
Whoa. Did you fucking blow my son's head off, you cunt?
No,
What?
No. Just answer the question. We'll get to you in a second soon.
No, the blood wasn't his. I had an assistant.
Oh.
You have an assistant.
That sounds...
No,
that
I
sounds
had
like...
an assistant.
That sounds like Scab, I say proudly, with a little tear in my eye. Alright, we're all good then.
So,
Right, yes. He must be feeling better now.
He's really coming along that one.
he is. He's being confined to somewhere he can be watched. So, was there anything else while you were here?
You know, I think I covered almost all of my bases, and a few which I didn't expect to go to as well. So, we should probably, fuck off.
As we walk out the door, I pull out the guitar of Wild Stallions.
He moves over to you. He looks curious.
What's up, dude? And plucks a few chords as I can. And Zune, roll that nat 1 for me on the modify memory spell from hearing him talk about hearing our buddy Gregor talk about his son.
Give up.
Fuck you, man.
So, what do you modify it to? Or do you just...
Just that our charge,
I finally had a piece of the puzzle fucking 8 episodes later.
You fucking
Modify
Gilderoy
memory.
Lockhart, huh?
Indeed.
radical
Man.
dude.
I understand that. Yes, indeed. What has happened to our charge?
That's right.
He's being kept where he can't infect the rest of my kin.
Where might that be?
But you know he's a vampire.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but I'm not allowed to perform experiments on him, but he is. Excuse me.
No, I'm not allowed to perform experiments on him. I petitioned. I'm not exactly liked by my kin.
I think you're rather quite charming.
No, you don't. But I appreciate the fact that you would attempt to try and deceive me. Nobody finds me charming.
Oh no, I actually mean it in quite whole heart. You're the
Well,
most
then-
interesting person I've spoken to in quite a few hundred years.
Well, you're always welcome back. I'm sure I can help with any other problems you might wander into. You are oddly different yourself.
What the fuck is happening here? Shouldn't we just get our fucking cocks out right now and have a quick wank over each other? I've
If
got
you
shit
want
to
to.
do, mate. All right,
I still have a,
all right,
I still have a scalpel in my hand if you really want to pursue that.
No.
I had come here in hopes in exploring more of the arcane arts that was unique to myself. However, we had your ambassadors greet us partway through.
You're looking for something unique down here.
Quite.
I fear you may be out of your depth then.
I doubt it. I'm Zumvandri after all.
Zune?
No.
I sort of just, my hand's still on Zune's shoulder. Potion boy.
Need your strongest potions.
Mm.
Going into battle.
He's the only one here that could remove the collar, and I'm assuming the notes were your own. The notes were your own.
They were.
Then,
Oh,
potion boy or not, he has some semblance of intelligence.
you set them on fire. So I'm going to say in the confusion, you temporarily forgot something that's going to come back to you suddenly. I'm going to message you it real quick.
Potion boy or not, he's gone to school, and he's able to put it
Potions.
together.
Potion said, I'm going into battle and I need your strongest potions. And handle
Look
my
at you,
strongest
Zune.
potions.
Actually, respecting someone for their achievements and not necessarily for their titles. Maybe I am rubbing off of you on you.
You only wish. I respect those in the arcane arts, Gavin. Some of us just can't pray our problems away.
Got him!
Hey, I got one. I got one too.
You might be surprised. Some people can't pray their problems away.
What's he alluding to? Can I roll an insight, pretty please?
Roll me an insight.
Rego wouldn't care.
Fuck!
Man.
Yeah, he's clearly jumping on and making jokes of you. Maybe even a little flirtatiously, although he is incredibly creepy.
Is he human?
Is it? Yeah, I was going to ask.
He is
Ah.
human. He looks old as fuck. Like that sort of like has hit a new level of old. But he jumped up on a table and he's moving around. Clearly something he's drinking is keeping him young-ish.
What's new level of old? Like hitting 30, 40? Or is this like 112?
Like this guy clearly like you probably peg him at that 80-something maybe, but he's moving around pretty gracefully.
Quite spry for a human of your age.
Indeed. He raises the sphere in his hand.
That best fucking yoga workout he does.
What is that?
This is Sphere. Not my finest name, but he flexes his palm and you see suddenly like his palm seems to heat ever so slightly and it shrinks almost imperceptibly and smoke plumes up and he inhales deeply and just you see his eye almost sort of roll back slightly.
Zune almost immediately loses interest, assuming that it's some sort of narcotic. Narcotics, then.
Indeed. They have a wonderful way of numbing sensations such as...
Age.
Indeed.
Age?
Oh, it can help you from noticing the effects of deterioration. And in some ways, give you the strength to carry on far beyond.
Give me that.
He almost holds it sort of like, no! If you want it, I want something in return.
What would you like in return?
I want you to kill someone.
Okay.
One of the guards.
Okay.
No, that won't work. They'll know. It doesn't matter. Fine. He takes it, holds it out to you.
Oh boy, yes. Oh, goody.
It feels exactly like a bath bomb. It's sort of slightly powdery, comes away. Heat it, and heat it slowly. Believe me, it's a lot stronger than I make it seem.
Can I cast firebolt slowly at it?
Yeah, you can just sort of like essentially
Sort
heat
of.
your palm. And give me a Constitution saving throw. Hey, Zune, do you have one last nat one?
Or 2.
Yeah. she
No!
does.
I thought I used them all already.
Yeah.
Yep, there's still 2 left.
Yeah, this goes down and films you entirely. Like, it basically makes every single nerve ending numb. Like, every nerve ending that works left numb. You leak smoke out from the holes that have rotted through your flesh in places. And it just like, it's like you're being suffocated. It is just inescapable. It slows everything down. You guys watch as Zoom basically greens out really, really hard.
Can I hang on to any one sensation to try and tie it to something? No, it's a nat one, so I guess I'm
it's
fucked, yeah.
just nothing. That's like you essentially feel like you're falling indefinitely. Zoom, you are going to struggle to speak, especially when it comes to casting spells at the moment. You're going to struggle to think. You're basically at a disadvantage on intelligence, wisdom, and anything that's spell casting that requires a verbal component.
Oh, so I'm a paladin of the Raven Queen.
Got him!
And he just
I actually see all the smoke coming out of her. He's like,
Yeah.
You're leaking again.
I love you, quite.
Oh, that's the most articulate thing I've heard you say on the entire
You know, you
march.
could leave her here to recuperate. My table is always free.
Tempting. But I think Kazma would be a bit upset with us.
I think we have a city to siege.
Let's do that.
Oh, you have a city to siege.
Perhaps you know the old capital apparently is infested with something that we're supposed to clear out.
And they're sending you.
Yes.
Said that in a very fucking ominous way, mate. Is there something we should know?
He looks to Gregor. You? I wouldn't know. And her, well, half okay and half not. But him...
We're the heroes of undeath.
You fucking high, Zin. Because if so, I want to hit.
I do not.
He just takes it from Zoom, unable to sort of hold on to it, and hands it to Gregor. You need to heat it. I don't know if you have...
I can do that.
Yeah, let me.
I spit on the stone. And it comes out lava.
Roll me a con save, because that is one hell of a hit.
He's got some 50-50.
Oh, I got some 50-50s. Yeah, you're right, actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Give me a 1d2 then. Indeed.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh my god. Okay, so Gavin, literally, Gregor just inhales. Gregor just almost entirely just shuts down. Like he just. And now
because his armor, he's
trolling.
still standing, isn't he?
Yeah.
Can I go sit on the floor next to him? Like, just
is it fire based at all, or is it just this mental stuff?
No. This is it. Just basically spitting lava on it is you've just burnt a lot very quickly and inhaled it. This shit is unfamiliar. It's not like building up a tolerance to like drinking or anything like that. This is a whole new area of narcotics you're experiencing.
Gavin, you look. Gregor is currently drawing slightly, and you're not entirely sure what. You also realize that he is only standing. He's actually resting in his armor. His armor is keeping him entirely upright. Zune has walked over to the center of the room and sat down in the center of the room, and is running her hands across the floor as if it is the most interesting, so almost like she's running her hands through grass. Really, it's just sort of accumulated gunk and terribleness.
Yeah. So, my friend,
yes.
Does this just have to wear off, or is there a way to get them? He kind of looks sober.
Well, there is,
we're
but
not going to be able to move the dwarf until he chooses to.
Well, in which case, I would suggest take a walk with me.
Okay, I've got nothing better to do because, Gavin's tried to move him in his armor, and even Gavin can't move him in his armor.
Bye, Gav.
I start playing patty cake with Gregor Tuscan.
I do it with my face.
Yeah. You guys are a good 5 feet apart, but you're 100% convinced you're making contact with each other. You're convinced you're face to face.
Can you feel the energies in?
I can. It is quite
flow.
mystical.
Yeah, dude.
So Will and Tia, headphones off. And he begins to he walking along round to sort of the junkyard. And he looks down sort of over at the... he's sort of almost sort of on the lip of the bowl.
Okay.
So he's closer to the cabin wall than he actually is to town. And he looks to the silent workforce that are tinkering around. You will be a problem.
I hope not. I was actually thinking you could help with all of this scrap. I am a blacksmith, you know.
You were. But that was a very long time ago.
Your game. Are you?
Are you familiar with the term, the pot calling the kettle black?
I ask again. Who are you?
If I answer these questions, will you answer mine? For they will be the exact same questions. And if I give an honest answer, I expect an honest answer.
Well, then let's just agree that we are who we are.
And that is not who we are perceived to be.
Perhaps.
You may hide this from your friends, but everyone in town knows. It isn't a problem, and there will be no retribution or anger. Certainly not from any of them.
So what is this retaking the capital all about, and from whom?
There is a great evil that stirs. One of our kin, someone who would assist our once great leader, has caused corruption, great corruption, ambition, much like your friends, and got to him, and he now claims dominion over life and death.
Interesting. So, what? You want us to go slay this newborn lich? Newborn vampire? Newborn what form of undeath has he decided is the flavor of the week?
He is a lich, but he is a lich
of our people.
Oh. That's a new wrinkle now, isn't it?
Do you know where you are? Look down. Gaze with me. And he points to the town.
Okay.
What is it that you see?
Sanctuary, refuge, a hiding place.
Do these people look like they're hiding? You, someone who has been through war, who has served in military hospitals, you know what people cowering from fear look like. Do they look afraid?
No.
Why do you think that is?
They feel themselves safe, perhaps.
They are not safe. Where do you feel fear, Gavin? Remind me, it's been so long.
Fear is... Fear is those people who are unwilling to change. Fear is not understanding what the new or what the old is, was, or could be.
So it is unique to everyone.
Of course.
I can tell you right now that it is only unique to those of us here in this small, dilapidated dwelling at the edge of town. For if you were to walk into that town once more, there is no fear. There is no lacking of knowledge. Everything is shared. I would keep that very quiet if I were you.
Gavin. Gavin stroked his forehead.
The Lich
Your
is
people.
one of our kin.
Yes, now I see. Interesting. So, and you want you want it dead, or gone, or severed, perhaps?
We are already severed. But that connection can only be maintained while we have a leader of our own, and unfortunately, our leader is most unwell, and we are unable to allow her to breathe, for we must keep her contained, keep her shielded, lest she be discovered. So she is buried high.
Gavin looks up at the pyramid.
Yes. Our matron. He rolls his good eye. I am like they are severed, but I am severed even from them. This form had long since been a fan of, and he raises up the spear in his hand, substances, and they have, over time, broken down his mind and everything that connects it. When we became this, it was not the same for me as it was for the others. Hence, I am shunned.
Interesting. And something else. Perhaps has taken up residence.
We're unsure as to what would happen given your party's unique composition. A vampire, several vampires. Your unique layout.
Dichotomy.
That is one way of looking at it. And what dwells within. And then there is
Zune.
given what it is that we face, given what it is that has taken our capital, that has taken ownership of our people, we are unwilling to make another.
It's sound reasoning. I happen to agree with you on that one.
You will find there is ample reason, logic, and
Common sense, in fact.
indeed. And unfortunately, it is present even in the threat you face. Hence, we are still here. There is a warning you must carry. You must carry it to both sisters. They will try to use it as leverage, but it is the truth. They are going to starve down here. Not the sisters, not the vampires. This lich will starve down here. There is only so many souls in this small and dying part of the Underdark. And above, there is nothing that can be fed upon. But there is more than just this Underdark. And once they were whole, so it is rationing itself. Because it is digging.
It wants to reunite the East and the West. Well, we can't allow that now, can we?
You should warn your friends.
Yes. We should head back. Anything you can do to hurry your entertainment that you've shared would be appreciated.
He takes 2 vials from inside sort of his jacket and uncorks them. This might work. Then again, it might kill them. But they are hardy.
Trust me, Gregor is hard to kill. And Zune, she dies all the time and keeps coming back. So,
if you share this information with them, they must bury it in their heads.
only that we will be facing a lich. that intends to take over both Underdarks. It's quite a threat. Zune will not be happy to think that she has competition, that's for sure.
Indeed. But this is a fully fledged lich that is fed on an entire city.
Any suggestions? Do you have any other tricks up your sleeve?
You can speak freely here, but only here. It doesn't matter where you are in the city. They're all watching. It's a clever little ploy, naming one person in particular the Watcher, the Lookout, the eyes of our kingdom. But really, we are all watching. You should see to your friends.
Yes.
So, yeah, you guys.
So,
That wasn't long enough.
I come in with the 2 vials
Hmm.
and administer them to Zune and to Gregor.
What'll I do?
They basically taste like they are something akin to onion, like squeezed onion, mixed pepper or something like that. It's uncomfortably warm, and it leaves like a almost itchy sensation inside your throat, and it brings back sensation, and you start to feel as if like your whole, like all of your skin is just uncomfortable and itchy. But it brings with it sort of that, like when you scratch at your skin, you can feel the scratches. As slowly you begin to regain feeling. It's almost like a stimulant, like an extreme version of smelling salts.
Oh, that was all right.
Well, my friends, while you were being
Drooling.
entertained, we have a problem on our hands. Well, Zune, someone's beaten you to it. Their leader got ambitious and just great minds think alike, I guess. Has ascended and decided to take over not just the Eastern Underdark, but is digging for your new kingdom as well. It's our job. You're muted.
We can't hear you.
You're muted. Oh, you must have pulled out or something.
Giggity.
Giggity.
Hey!
Wait, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course we heard the
Of
giggity.
course.
You didn't even need a mic plugged in. We would have heard the
I
giggity.
know, right? My character, or sorry, I understand what he's trying to say, but Zune is obviously coming out of a high stupor and someone has ascended, somebody's gotten ambitious. She's like, okay, potion boy, woo, like great. Somebody's trying to fucking play with magic. Who cares? Why do we have to help them?
Well, did you hear the part of it sobered you up?
Yes.
You are still coming out of it. Yeah.
but-
he said that I was sobering up. I'm catching up to what he's
Gotcha,
saying
okay.
about how somebody's ascending, but I'm not quite catching on to the fact that I'm assuming a lich?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Zune hasn't quite gotten there yet.
Okay. Yeah. And there's not enough left of the East to satisfy. So what's cut out for us?
What care of it is I? If they rule the Underdark or not, I thought you were trying to preach acceptance.
I'm trying to preach not having an army of undead rise from the Underdark and take over the surface. I also assumed that if you were going to, if that was going to happen, that you would want to be the one who was at the front. Maybe I misunderstood.
If they are to rise after completing this task, they will rise in the east and the west, and they will cut the continent in two.
Do you mean to tell me Zun Vandry of House Vandry, first of her name, that there is another being, another dark elf, who has ascended to Lichdom
He looks to Gavin.
before I have,
Picture to the
and
post there.
seeks to take my entire legacy here?
Well, I guess you'd be stealing his because he beat you to it. Got him!
Got her.
Got him.
The guy steps out from between Gregor and Zune.
In a very creepy, undead almost kind of way, Zune kind of stretches and pops out both of her elbows, flexes her hands, and brings them to her side. Where shall we begin, Mr. Fjordhammer? Gregor Tuscan. Where is my sister?
Yeah, where's the sister? Will they keep her now with the boy?
Your sister, well, refused to be separated from the young scab. And
Charge, yes.
his unique tastes, he has been kept separate from general populace.
Because he's a tiefling.
Because he is
Because he's a
blood
vampire,
drinker.
Zune. You know that. It's not.
There is
Certainly after he ate the apprentice, that proved
I
that.
didn't know that we were letting them know that.
They already know.
Oh, they definitely know. Don't worry, sweet cheeks. Gave the ghost away on that one.
indeed.
So, friend, can you point us in either the right direction or what would be the possibly best direction for us to proceed?
Before you depart to face this, make sure you return here and see me. In the meantime, you'll want to speak to the Watcher. He will be up there. And he points through a hole in the ceiling, which is badly in bad need of repair, to the pyramid, which hangs like a huge stalactite from the ceiling.
We should be on our way then. It was a pleasure talking with you.
I doubt that.
I
be
begin
right.
casting. One,
You
2,
be-
3. Fly. Up we go.
Who are you casting on? All of them.
Gavin, Gregor, me.
Okay, cool.
No, we're just gonna leave Gavin here. Fuck. As soon as he said Buddy's up through there, because I have to cast it 3 times, I mean,
Yeah.
You cast it at I can't remember what level it is, but presumably it's gonna
3 is the first level I can cast it, unless,
So it'd take a 5 to get us all.
yeah. So you managed to basically all feel
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Okay. When you
Oh,
cast it 4th level or higher, you can select a creature. Okay, so I can cast it once as a 5th. Yeah, okay.
so
5th edition
you,
is weird to me.
you guys all float up into the air and find yourself able to fly. Gregor, it's not graceful. Gavin, you've flown before. Zune, you have frequent flyer miles.
I am like a bird. I can fly away.
I imagine like Gregor flaps.
Oh yeah.
Like just
I attempt to assist Gregor with flying.
Yeah, he's not the most aerodynamic.
Is there an obvious entryway or something?
He said
for
a
us to get
hole in the-
inside?
I presume just goes out for the hole, I presume.
No, I
Giggity.
meant in the pyramid.
Oh, in the pyramid. Basically, the outside of the pyramid has tiers, like ledges that run the circumference, almost like the opposite of stairs. So they have consecutive sort of huge balconies, essentially, that run around the entire circumference of the pyramid. As you fly up, Gavin, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh. 22.
On a 22, yeah, you feel like a electric buzz in your head as you approach, and you catch a glimpse of something that is gone, like a vision that just flicks out straight away. You're not sure what it was. You can't really recall, but yeah, it's just like a interference as you get closer, almost as if you've passed through something.
Okay.
And you guys come to a stop on one of the balcony areas. Are you going sort of high up or low down, sort of where it's closer together?
I don't know. Would it be at the tip of the? Would it be at the like?
Indeed,
point of
it's
the
upside
pyramid,
down.
At the tip of the pyramid.
What
or
does
would
it- what
be
does it
back up
even
in the
mean?
base?
You are some me.
I mean, is there anything that looks sort of like a ceremonial or more opulent or
Well,
anything?
you're
along
looking at
those
the
lines?
outside. You're looking at outside.
I'm going to say actually, Gavin guides them towards the tip of the pyramid.
As you
I got a
approach,
hunch.
Zune, you can read that there is Dark Elven written. It is in a little bit of disrepair, but it reads the Bank of Thel. Thell.
History?
Yeah, give me a history check.
Do I have nat ones still?
You do have
You
one,
have
yeah.
one last nat one. Roll me, I'll tell you what, roll me a D2. If you roll high, I'll let you roll.
Praise Kyrionsily. We prayed for Will's internet today.
We did.
Amen.
You can roll a history
Oh.
check.
Fell.
17, never heard of House Thel. You would remember that he was the Watcher, introduced himself as the Watcher of House Thel. However,
Fell. You said Thel, though, I thought.
Thel. Yeah, Thel.
Fell and fell different?
Nope. T-H-E-
Oh, same. Okay, I might not have
We're
rolled the
just
rest.
English. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So you reach the edge. You would know that this would be some kind of drow bank. Therefore, there will probably be next to no currency here. For a drow, it's probably a safety deposit storage facility of various different sizes and various different tiers. Probably have vaults dedicated to different houses. This potentially could be left over from before Zamora fell.
And also would be the greatest place to hide a phylactery.
Potentially.
Find the phylactery, control the lich, control the world. I mutter all of this out loud while we're flying. I don't know if they can hear us.
You
Or
guys
if
can
anyone
do-
around me can hear.
It's just you guys. No one else has the fly spell cast on
Okay.
them.
As I'm flying this, I'm saying out loud because Zune is in her crazy calculation. Like, how can I win this? How can I do this? How can I attain what I need?
Boys, give me a perception check. As Zune is doing her mad muttering mumbo jumbo.
We doing 50-50s if we got them?
Yeah. If you got them.
Come on, Gavin. Come on, Gregor. One time.
Oh, there it is.
Get to.
Gregor doesn't hear.
No, I am flying for the first time ever.
Yeah, Gregor,
You're doing a great job, honey.
You're trying to remember the name of like the lyrics to a song. You're not entirely sure what it is.
I'm free.
That's I was thinking that exact song. Free falling. Yeah. Yeah. But Gavin, you hear everything crystal clear.
Quite a plan you have.
As
Or think that you have, Zune.
you see that the writing is above a huge archway that is the right way up. So this pyramid is quite clearly supposed to be built this way. It appears to you, the other thing you would pick up on a 17 and knowing Drow society is this probably used to reside over a prison, as almost like the watchtower in the center of a prison. This would be suspended above the ceiling, and slaves, people who were kept down sort of to work on the ground, or just to live as slaves in a slave population in the small, dilapidated, crappy town below. I love the word dilapidated tonight, I don't know why. But yeah, that's probably what this originally served as. It'll probably be quite grand inside. And you guys land on the ledge. Gregor is holding on to the ledge and sort of just trying to push himself up, and like he's basically kicking, like swimming his way up onto the ledge through the air and finally rolls onto the side. It's beautiful.
Well, we should find the Watcher.
Yeah. That was
Are there
cool.
guards or anything out here?
Flying is cool.
Are there guards like by the arch or anything? Or is
There
arch
are
going in?
there are guards that are patrolling on different layers, but there is no one currently guarding the entranceway.
This is strange. We were left completely guarded and now not.
Again, there's nowhere to go. I suggest we ask directions.
No, we never ask for directions. A dwarf never asks for directions when he's underground.
Well, then Mr. Tuscan lead the way.
Follow my beard. And I head off in a random direction.
Gregor, you march straight in, and you don't get very far. It's a very small room you enter into, but it has a huge spiral staircase in the center. The decor shows what appears to essentially be a huge column, which shows various different pictures of paintings of drow, essentially like painted onto the stonework and cut in places. Drow, beautiful, mostly men lower down, but females are up high, and pictures of matrons that runs up the central column. But all of the steps are not drow. They are wood elves, they are humans, they are tieflings, they are orcs, they are different people, and they are all suspended in what looks like sort of torture devices, and their bodies are form up to become the steps that lead up this huge spiral staircase that leads up into much large rooms. And you can see it heads straight up, and through the gaps in the steps, it seems to go up through the entire core of this pyramid. You can hear movement above. People are definitely occupying this, but no one has come to greet you or stop you.
Well, this is nice. Welcome in. There are people up there. Want to go ask someone something? Or we can just fucking head right through.
No. If there is a lich, he knows that we are here.
Okay.
And this is not where the Lich is.
I think this is a good city, right? And then the other city is the one that's fucked.
Correct.
So we're safe
That is
here.
true.
I mean,
This is
relatively.
last refuge.
Remind me what we're doing here.
We're speaking with the Watcher.
Oh, that
So we
fucking
can-
twat. We have to.
so that we can get our way possibly into the city without being killed immediately before even facing the Lich or his phylactery.
Alright, well, I reckon he's in this big fucking pyramid then. Watching, up high.
Why, yes, because our friend down below pointed up and said, "Hey, go see the Watcher up there."
Well, then why do we need
He
directions?
pats Gregor on
Why
the
the
head.
fuck do we need directions and it's a fucking pyramid? You just go up it.
But we're already at
No.
the
I
don't know-
top,
I don't
but
know,
the top
Gregor.
is the bottom.
No. Alright, let's just fucking... Where the hell are we? I don't know what's going on.
You guys walk up a spiral staircase, and as you proceed
See,
through,
this is the way.
there are people working.
Stop.
There are people working on different floors. You can see that they all, there's sort of almost janitors that are moving around, wearing simple garb and tidying up, keeping this place in relatively decent condition. A few of them even seem to be making minor repairs to the structure in places. But as you proceed upwards, you realize that it's sort of opening up into large rooms with corridors leading off them. And these rooms have security guards stationed on them, proper, in full, sort of heavy armor, a lot of them, all of them carrying a variety of different weapons. And they are, you can see all races are present.
I walk right up to one of them and look them in the eye and say, "We're here to see the Watcher. He's expecting us. Could you point us in the right direction?"
You have 2 more floors. Then there is a door, a large arched door. It leads to the council chambers.
Thank you.
He nods. Give
Shall
me
we?
perception checks, Zune and Gregor.
Nailed it.
I'm too into my own mind to see what's going on around me.
Fantastic.
Or I can do to it, but yeah.
Yeah, actually, do D to it.
2d2. That's not how you do that.
Or
Oh.
is it?
There it goes.
Oh, I said it too soon. Sorry.
On and that, what you sort of, you look at this person,
Oh, where I
definitely
am.
giving you the hair, definitely giving you the hairy eyeball. This guy is actually a tiefling, so even worse. And he just standing guard, but to you, it's sort of like that indifferent sort of superior smugness. You just makes your blood boil ever so slightly.
I see you.
And we see you.
Somewhere
Shall
deep
we?
down, I blame this man for the death of my nipple.
It's true.
But you ate.
Indeed. So you guys proceed upwards and finally are greeted by a huge archway. This archway is carved of what looks to be like onyx. It's beautiful and it is very extravagant. And it has a picture of a female drow carved into sort of like a buttress at the top with a male drow on either side. And they essentially seem to be raining down the elements on what is like almost like a cliff face, and you can see the other races like clinging to the edge of the archway as if trying to ascend upwards and being beaten back. And you can even see at the bottom, to the extent of the detail is quite excessive. You can see sort of around the whole sort of entrance where you'd expect there to be a welcome mat in a civilized place. There are real bones that have been set into the floor that look like they've come from a variety of different sources. Some of them large, some of them small. All of them look like they could definitely fit within a humanoid that forms almost the entranceway floor. It is it has a point to make.
I rather like the aesthetic here.
Gavin just sort of shakes his head. I guess they're waiting for us. Shall we go in?
Yeah, let's fucking do
I-
it.
I mean, is the door closed or is it just an arch?
It's an archway with a closed door.
I'll knock again.
No.
You knock. Okay.
No.
He literally knocked. You heard
No.
it. I heard it.
But I look like this. I'm literally. Okay.
Actually, yeah, burned robes and all.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
You managed to knock
Okay.
twice, but you don't manage the third knock as the door is already being pulled open. And on the other side, there is one of the female drow who you're pretty sure you recognize as one of the individuals who was part of the party that came and claimed you and brought you here. And she opens the door, gestures for you to enter.
Any chance I remember her name?
Roll me a history check. 19. You will remember that the only person who you asked the name of or gave a name was the Watcher.
Fuck.
She gestures. Inside there is a huge table. The table is essentially, it starts off like almost like a long banqueting table, but at the end it ascends like the pyramid you're in tiers. And there are elevated seating at one end, which is built into the table. The table extends in tiers as well, almost to like a judge's position where the Watcher sits. There is complete silence. Everyone looks like they've just been waiting quietly for you guys to arrive, and they all look to you as you enter, and you are offered seats. None in particular, just seats. They all are at the head of the table and around the head of the table, but there are at least sort of 40 places that are vacant here.
So, you have a task for us, and we don't have a choice.
That's certainly quite a leap, an assumptive leap to make. You've been speaking to people.
Since
Yes.
you did not deign to come and greet us yourselves, we've been left with no choice. She says as she elegantly.
Yeah, we fucking
Sit on
flew
the
up
chair.
here, mate. We can fly.
We'll keep that in mind if we have to eject you from the venue.
Gregor, that's rather low level.
No need for ejaculation. Not yet, at least. So, what do you want?
We have a task for you to undertake. In exchange, we will reward you with any information that is given to us and share it equally.
Believe
What
all.
Go on.
Of course, soon.
What of my sister? I demand that she be released at once and put by my side.
It appears your sister has chosen to care for another.
My sister cares for no one but me.
Is that reciprocated?
Zune is crushed for just a moment, and she looks to Gregor Tuscan. Then I wish to have my spell book back. I cannot be of assistance to you. And the creak and breaking of voice, despite how hard she tries, is so audible when she realizes for the first time in her life that her sister cares about someone else more than her. And maybe, just maybe, throughout all these centuries, I should have paid a bit more attention to Kazna.
You wish to be reunited with your sister.
As much as she wishes to be reunited with me.
Then I promise you one thing. If you see
to this task. If we can count on you, you can count on us to unite you once more.
You have the pledge of the undying heroes. Not many can attest to that.
Good. You all have a very special and interesting dynamic and bond, something we can certainly respect. There is work that needs to be done, but we will bring you your family. And when you return, anything that we have learned over the many years that we have been here, we will share with you. That's why you are here.
What pledge, what promise do you have that this is not just another facade?
You are unique, all of you, in ways that will become apparent. There is something we have been working on, a way to enter our old capital without succumbing to the new infestation there. And when we say infestation, we choose our words very carefully. We don't speak of the individual who sits on a throne that does not belong to them.
Do not call it a throne.
We speak of an actual parasitic infestation. There is something that he has done to the whole city. There are things there, parasites. They are unseeable. They are incurable. And they consume everything. But they have one small weakness. They have a lack of interest in that which has already been claimed. And if it has already been claimed, then it is almost certainly already undead. We may be able to sneak certain individuals past them by bolstering their nature. We're interested to see if these things will turn a blind eye to the undead among you, or if you will be consumed like so many before you. There are ways of masking the living as well, but they will be finite. So, we will provide you with a small window of opportunity. But once you go in, know this: you will not be able to return with anything. You will have to be cleansed on your return. Do not take any weapons, clothing, or items which you can stand not to lose. We do not permit anything, any possible infestation vector to enter back into our safe haven. And if you become infected yourselves, there's a smile that spreads around the room, but it is not a warm smile. You will be cleansed.
We've been cleansed once before.
Yep.
Do you remember Black Rock Mountain?
Oh my. How could I forget?
Well, I'm sure this will just be a jolly skip along the way. Right, Gavin? It's not anything we haven't faced before.
It will just be another long march, won't it?
And that is where we're gonna have to end that. Like that.
You just fucking had to.
Bombshell.
You just fucking. Oh, that was the best one. That was the best one of season 2 so far.
Tall Squall looks at the time.
That was fucking money, dude. That was good. That's all.
Oh dear, oh dear. Well, my friends, that is where we're going to end tonight's episode of The Long March, of course. But fear not, we'll be back tomorrow, and of course, we'll be back next week for more of The Long March. And we'll be back with Louise next week as well, so the full party should be back at it as we go into episode, 3? 4?
This is without a doubt my hands down favorite episode we've played so far.
Really?
Well, the emotions, the dying fucking nipple,
Yep.
Gavin almost dying, the last rites of the Raven Queen, where we kind of bond for just a second, coming through the city. Like, there is so much that happened this episode.
I'd ask you guys not to watch this one back.
I never do, don't worry.
I never have time.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only question is you might need to talk to Louise.
Louise,
Because she's in chat. I bet because I think she was watching.
Damn you, Louise.
Yeah, she was watching.
Right.
She even fucking bragged about it. She's like, I get to watch.
I'm bragging about it. Oh my goodness. Well, my friends, that's where we're ending tonight's show, but fear not, tomorrow we'll be back. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern is Call of Cthulhu Nameless Horrors. With any luck, I will have had time to install the Ethernet solution to our internet problems, and we should be Gucci and flying. If not, we might have a bit of a rough ride of the stream, but I think I should get it there in time. It really just depends on when Amazon decides to deliver. But there you go. Other than that, let's go around a custom crew. Did we enjoy ourselves? Where can we find you guys online? If you guys enjoyed the show, of course, in chat, hit the follow button and join us. Go to YouTube as well. Push for 10k on YouTube, 20k on Twitch, and you can follow every one of our single videos on there. There's a ton of Long March videos to go back and watch, and a ton of sort of 5-8 minute videos on D&D, learning D&D, making worlds, that kind of thing. Grant Ellis' new series on there as well, you should check out. Also the comic, D&D webcomic, I, Necromancer, is back on the website. Check it out. It's free to read each week. Donovan Fry from the Call of Cthulhu game is the mastermind behind that. And he's also on our latest project, Tentacles Pod on Twitter, Tones and Tentacles podcast, which is our upcoming Call of Cthulhu podcast that you guys should definitely check out. Launching in February, so keep an eye for that one. Let's go around the custom crew. Josh, what do you think is a nice show, my friend?
There's, oh god, I'm gonna need to talk to someone. I need to speak to Louise and swear her to silence. But I also, the Long March is so many. Someone mentioned it earlier in chat. They were just like, "There's a lot of secrets in this campaign." Yeah, a lot of secrets. You guys are all terrible people, but it's a lot of fun to just sit there and spin lots of dishes and see how often you guys overlook tiny details that are really important. So yeah. Okay, I'm Encounter Roleplay.
Wait a minute.
I'm Encounter Roleplay. I'm Encounter Josh. You can find me on Encounter Roleplay doing Encounter Roleplay things, and that's me. Over to someone else.
Alrighty, let's go to Score.
Hey, I'm at Tall Skull. I had a blast. It's going to be interesting. It always keeps getting more and more interesting in the Long March. And you can find me at Tall Squall on Twitter, which if you go to that, my profile there, it has links to all the other stuff that I do, including DMing a for charity campaign every Saturday at 2:00 on my Twitter channels. My Twitch channel. Stop in, say hello, say you saw me here on the Long March.
Awesome. Laurelania.
Dramatic pause while I mute my microphone. There we go. You can find me at Laurelania here on Twitch. That's it. Just
Nailed it.
click on my name, hit follow. Got him.
Got him. Incredible stuff. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Also, another shout out to our sponsors, D&Dice. Check them out. Check out the website. Use Coupon code Encounter Roleplay for 5% off the dice. Soon actually have just an affiliate link you guys can go and click. They're actually moving websites in a moment for their new product, which is coming out in a few weeks' time. They're actually doing some awesome terrain is going to be out on the dice website. So check those out. Buy your dice from there. Some high quality stuff. I'll show you guys tomorrow in the next stream when I'm in the other room. But thank you guys again for joining us for a long march. It has been a blast as always. Thank you to everybody who donated as well for tonight's show. And of course, all you guys just showed up and watched us because we appreciate you guys a great deal. I'll see you guys again tomorrow, 1 PM Eastern, Call of Cthulhu, Nameless Horrors. I'll be in the keeper's seat, driving my players insane. But until next time, try not to throw too many now ones because we'll be here laughing when you do. Good night, everybody. Bye.
I wrote this